Hey everyone, welcome to Web Sleuths YouTube Live. My name is Trisha Griffith, and look who we have here with us tonight. Happy almost New Year, everybody. It's going to be a fantastic show. We have Ping all the way from Australia. How you doing, darling?
Good, good. Well, it's New Year's Day here, about 3:30 in the afternoon. So we've
Oh,
been in 2025 for a little while now,
so you've
Wow.
been partying
Wh-
nonstop then, is what you're telling
What's
me.
it? What's the
like
new year
sleeping.
like, King?
The aliens are friendly. They're very friendly, our new overlords.
Good deal.
Yeah.
And we have Stacy, insightful one here, and we're not sure how long Stacy can stay. You have taken some new medication for your knee, and that's kind of made you just a bit, I don't know, loopy, fun,
Yeah.
jacked up, something.
Yeah.
But
I'm having a good time.
good. You're just sitting there, whether you say something or not, you're having a good time. Okay, we're going to be talking about a bunch of cases tonight. Also going to be talking about Othram and their top 10 most viewed cases. And Ping is going to talk about a case that Othram solved here recently that is really, really interesting. But first, I need to talk about real quickly what I discussed last night about the JonBenét Ramsey case because I got some things wrong. When I try and use my memory from 20 years ago, it never works. It's the worst thing I can do. I should just say, I can't remember a damn thing and wait until I can look into it. Really quickly, I said I thought Patsy Ramsey's palm print or fingerprint was on the ransom note. That is not true. Her fingerprints were on the pad that the ransom note was written on. There were no there were no other fingerprints other than a guy named Chet Ubowski, I think, who's a handwriting expert, and maybe another policeman's fingerprints on it. Nobody else's on the ransom note. So I just want to throw this out there, ladies and gentlemen. If you come down and you see a ransom note spread out on the floor, the bottom of your stairs, would you pick it up and read it? I don't know. I would. I'm crazy. Call me wacky. I remember John Ramsey writing in his book that he got down on his all fours and was reading it, without touching it. It's like, what? So I do want to clear that up. Patsy Ramsey's fingerprints were not on the ransom note, and I put it in a pinned message under the video from yesterday, and I just wanted to clear that up. Now, the other thing I wanted to clear up was back in 2004, John and Patsy Ramsey were on Larry King Live, and they were taking calls, and I got through. I lied to the screener saying that I wanted to say something wonderful about Patsy. And there were two questions that I talked about. One was the JonBenét Ramsey Foundation, and the other was about the civil case that Chris Wolf filed against the Ramseys because they claimed he could have been the killer. And the day that it was supposed to start trial, his lawyer got really sick and tried to postpone it. And the judge said, no, we're not going to postpone it. So they only heard one side. The judge only heard the Ramsey side, didn't hear the plaintiff's side at all. So she ruled for the Ramseys, of course. It's the stupidest thing. And I asked them both about it. All right. Now, there were some repercussions after this to the Ramseys. Let me pull this up. And I want to thank, let me get it here. The Ramsey case, they have some great clips on this, and I want to thank the person that sent it to me. Hang on here. And I apologize. I don't have it in front of me. Just a minute. Hold on. Because I really do want to say thank you. Let's see. Where is it? Netflix, blah, 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 blah. Judy. Thank you, Judy. Thank you very, very, very much. Okay, so here's the clip from, I think it was May 2006, where I called Larry King Live to confront the Ramseys about two different things. So let me get the share here. Here we go, share screen. And here we go, everybody.
Let's take a call for the Ramsey. Salt Lake City, Utah. Hello.
Hi, Larry. Thanks for having me on. Mr. Ramsey, you talk about giving back to the community. In your book of Death of Innocence, you talk extensively about the JonBenét Ramsey Foundation. That foundation was closed. It virtually did nothing. Yet in your book, it still says the proceeds from the book sales are going to the JonBenét Ramsey Foundation. I'm wondering if you can explain that. And also, Could you please tell everybody that in the civil case, the judge was only presented with what Linwood, your civil attorney, showed her, and without benefit of the actual police files. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry I didn't hear the second part of that question, but regarding the foundation.
Yeah, he didn't hear the second part. He had just been talking about, I think, about this case and how they won the case, how they won the civil case. And the judge says, oh my gosh, yes, there was an intruder. Absolutely. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it was because the judge was presented with only the Ramsey side. It was the weirdest damn thing. But anyway, now he's going to go on and he's just going to tap dance around my question. But what Patsy says at the end gets her in a little bit of trouble later. Here we go.
We set up for JonBenét in her honor. We did the same for our daughter Beth when she died in 1992. It's a compassion that just, I think, flowed out of us. We weren't sure what we were going to do with it, but we wanted to do something to honor her name. With Beth, our plan was to get the family together once a year and make a decision on what we could do with what we had available to give, and make that a family decision. Certainly, we set that up with JonBenét. That was our plan as well. We have done some of that, not to the extent that we'd hoped.
No, we didn't.
We'd hoped that we could recover substantial damages from a lot of the very slanderous and wrong stories that were put out there about us. We did recover some things, but most of those were on behalf of our son Burke. And so we've not yet, I think, done justice to what we had intended in our hearts for that to be.
This week, however, we did present $1,000 worth of scholarships to Mount McSaba Day Camp here in Illinois, Michigan, where we live, where JonBenét and Burke both attended day camp. JonBenét was the camper of the year one summer, and we were very happy that the foundation was able to provide some scholarship monies for campers this year.
Guess what? They hadn't made a donation. Patsy Ramsey just blah, 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 threw that out there, and it wasn't true. Now, this is where I got the story mixed up because I thought I was calling and asking about the donation. I wasn't. But anyway, let me read you this article that was printed shortly after. Let me grab it. And this is from the Gaylord Herald Times from May 29th, 2004. I'm sorry, I got to get a little closer to read this because it's kind of small and I'm kind of old. An appearance on CNN's Larry King Live television show helped launch John Ramsey's campaign for the 105th State House of Representatives seat, giving him instant name recognition throughout the district. He lost, by the way. But a statement made on the show by his wife, Patsy, has triggered an outcry from those who question the existence of a foundation established in the name of their daughter, JonBenét, who was murdered on December 26, 1996. John and Patsy Ramsey appeared on Larry King Live May 12th, the day after Ramsey officially announced his candidacy for the 105th District House seat. Okay, a caller to the show questioned the Ramseys about the foundation they established in the name of JonBenét Ramsey, referring to statements made in the book written by John and Patsy Ramsey called The Death of Innocence. The caller said the foundation mentioned in the book closed virtually did nothing. Hold on here, I gotta pull this up. Yeah, was closed and virtually did nothing. Patsy asserted the foundation does exist. It didn't, and is still making contributions in JonBenét's name. Here's what she said. This week, we did present, as in handed over, $1,000 worth of scholarships to the Mount McNubia Daycare Center here in Charlevoix. Sorry, it's really hard to read. Charlevoix, where JonBenét and Burke both attended day camp. Patsy told Larry King and millions of viewers. It may be a question of semantics, but the fact is the Ramseys did not make a donation to the Camp Scholarship Program until Thursday, May 27th. Camp Masubia director Ike Haas said he received a check for $1,000 from the JonBenét Ramsey Children's Foundation that evening. So yeah, she said we made a donation, and then she made it after the show. Patsy made a commitment to Ike to, and let's see, a commitment to Ike Boss 2 or 3 weeks before going on the show, John Ramsey said. It's unbelievable how people would attack something like this when we are just trying to help. Camp Mixubia director Ike Boss verified Patsy's statement, saying she did make a commitment to donate to the camp after learning that children from low-income families need financial aid in order to attend the camp. The camp has a long tradition of giving scholarships funded by community donations to needy children in the area. I'm doing it today, Patsy said Thursday of her promise to make a donation to the camp fund when questioned by the Herald Times. Both John and Patsy said the JonBenét Ramsey Foundation is still in existence. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was. Maybe it closed after this. We'll be able to find out. But anyway, they haven't done anything. They hadn't done anything. The proceeds from their book were going to go into the foundation, and they were going to make this software and blah, 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 blah. Nothing happened. The article continues. Both John and Patsy said, still exists. It's been more of a family trust, Patsy explained. It's not very active. There's some money in it, but not thousands and thousands of dollars. John added that they have never solicited public funding for either JonBenét Foundation or the foundation created for his older daughter, Beth, after she died in a car accident. We set up one for Beth, we set up one for JonBenét, and every penny that goes into the foundation is my own money, John said. Utah resident Tricia Griffith, owner of forumsforjustice.org, later acknowledged she was the caller to the Larry King Live show who questioned the Ramseys about the existence of the JonBenét Ramsey Foundation. Officially, the nonprofit JonBenét Foundation is closed, according to the IRS. I knew it, Griffith said. But if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to correct it on my website. Griffith said her website, forumsforjustice.org, gets 1 million hits per month, and the hits have been increasing, especially hits from Michigan, since Ramsey declared his candidacy. Griffith, like many Americans, grew interested in the JonBenét Ramsey murder case a few weeks after the tragic death of the young beauty queen occurred in December 1996. She acquired the discussion website, forumsforjustice.org, and that deals with crime victims in 2002. On Thursday, she launched another website. SupportRamseyTruth.com. I don't even remember that. I guess I did. All right. There's no tip line, no family website, so it's being left up to strangers to keep up with the information about JonBenét Ramsey, Griffith said. I would have thought that the Ramseys, being computer savvy, would have a website for JonBenét, she added. And that's it. God, I can't remember that website. It's obviously closed. Or maybe it's still up. I don't know. But anyway, and I want to thank Cotton Star for sending me that article. So, okay, that's the scoop there, everybody. That's the scoop. The IRS said it was closed. And Ramseys are right. They never asked for solicitations. They never asked for money. But they made this big deal about the money from their book sales. They're going to go right into this foundation, and they're going to develop this software to help find missing kids. It was all a bunch of crap. Just a bunch of crap. So anyway, I'll put the link to that clip. I don't have a link to the newspaper article. I'll see if I can get it. But anyway, there's so much to discuss about the case, and we will continue to discuss it in the days to come. In fact, I'm thinking about making like a specific, like maybe 2 nights a week where we discuss the Ramsey case, because people are still, coming to me, asking me questions. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And like you said earlier, Stacy, off air, people in chat are coming up and asking questions all the time. Right.
Well, why don't we do a couple nights where we have like a 30-minute Q&A?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And
Absolutely.
that way it's not the whole show, is it? It's just people have questions. They can come in and ask for the source, which we provide the source for the information, and we could do that.
That's a good idea. That's what we'll do. So anyway, and then we have a big project that we're going to be working on in 2025 that we'll talk more about, but it is to counter the Netflix documentary. And let me tell you, it's hard to counter something that has 300 million subscriptions to it.
I
So,
thought you were going to say that you were going to donate $1,000 to the camp. That she was going to say. I was like, that would be a really good, thing to do because she
I
never did it. So
if I'd have thought of it, I would have done it first. But I didn't think of it. Wish you were around back then, Ping. You could have told me. So
I was like, I don't know, what was it? What year did you say? 2001.
this was 2001. Hold on. Let me take a quick
I was
look.
17 at the time.
Oh, you were. You're just a punk kid. Hang on.
Yeah.
May 20. Oh, this was May 29th, 2004. It's when John Ramsey announced he was running for the candidacy, a representative for in Michigan, not for federal, but for the state house, and he did lose. So anyway, let's see. Yes, Lisa Foster, 2025. I hate chocolate. It's so good to see you, my dear. Thank you. Okay, now one of our big influences this year, in the year 2024, the wonderful people at Othram Labs and DNAsolves.com. I cannot say enough good about these people. And Ping, we're going to talk about some of their cases, their top 10 most viewed cases on WebSleuth. We're going to talk about some of those in just a moment. But Ping, you brought up a case that Othram helped solve this year. What is that? And you have some things that you can show us?
Yeah, I can, because this one's not on your list, but we actually covered this one on my channel a couple of months ago, and it's a cold case out of Nevada. And I really like this one. Yeah, it's on the screen now for everyone. It was Melanie White. She was killed in 1994. They say here 2 men hiking on Lake Mead Boulevard near the entrance to the Lake Mead recreational area in August 27th, 1994, found her remains in a wash. They said they believe she was dragged from there out of a car, basically. So they just dragged her out of a car and dumped her there. They're saying the next day, the Clark County Coroner's Office positively identified her as White, not the other way. That's her last name. They're saying ruling her death a homicide, and they're saying she was strangled and had blunt force trauma, and that sat for 3 decades until October earlier this year. They finally had a press conference and said they had been working with Othram to get this done. And I'll play you a little clip from it. So here we go.
Okay.
A 30-year-old Las Vegas cold case has now been solved after a DNA sample connected police to the killer.
We will always miss Melanie and believe that the solving of her murder will help bring a measure of peace to her and all of us.
Jason and Walter White are the younger brothers of Melanie White. Police say Melanie was killed by strangulation and blunt force trauma on August 26, 1994, when she was only 27.
She was just a really nice person. That's tragic.
We loved her very much, and she had a son who is 33, and he's healthy and he's happy.
Channel 13 was there when Melanie's body was found a day after her death. Police say her body was found in a wash off of Lake Mead Boulevard, near the entrance to the Lake Mead Recreation Center.
And it's clear that she had been dragged there from what we believe is a car.
And almost 30 years to the date of her death, on August 26, 2024, police identified Melanie's killer as Arthur Joseph Lavery.
He was pronounced deceased in May of 2021 from complications with COVID.
Police say Lavery grew up in Las Vegas and even attended high school in the Valley. Before he died, Metro says the only other criminal history he had was a battery arrest. As for Melanie, investigators say she moved to Las Vegas with her boyfriend in the spring of 1994. But how did she know Lavery?
We have not found any link.
But investigators did find DNA at the scene. However, it did not hit in the system back then. And the case went cold until the Las Vegas Justice League stepped in, paying to send the sample back out for reevaluation.
To Othram Labs in Houston, Texas for reevaluation, and they ended up getting the hit.
The Las Vegas Justice League has helped solve 9 cold cases in our valley since 2020. And their national team is currently working on finding answers to over 100 cases.
So since it's an Othram thing, I'll stop it there. But this was one I remembered from this year. They've done a bunch of them. I think I've done 2 or 3 in the last 12 months from the Vegas Justice League, where they've teamed up with Othram, they were also, remember when there was CrimeCon in Las Vegas? You went
Yeah, I
to it,
remember.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The Vegas Justice League, they were there and they did a panel or an interview with Othram at that point. And then, 18 months later, you see the results of these type of connections between Othram and other, aspiring agencies wanting to give people back their, justice, their names, that type of thing. And yeah, really cool one, this one. This was one that stuck with me this year.
It's amazing that Othram can find, the DNA on the victim and be able to not only identify victims, but to identify killers. Because, boy, that is so important. I mean, I can't imagine having a murdered loved one that's lost and then finally identified and not knowing who killed them and why. I'd like to know more about the background of this guy. It kind of just sounds like they probably didn't know each other and he maybe just grabbed her. But God bless Othram and DNA Solves. I mean, those people, and Kristen and David Middleman were going to try and come on tonight. They were just unable to make it, but they will be on soon.
Trish, I think they're going to have to clone themselves soon.
Yes.
That's their next thing.
Yeah.
They're going to have Othram cloning, and their
Yes.
first one is going to be themselves. So they can put one in every state in America. That's going to be it.
Yeah.
And in every country. I can't tell
Mhm.
you. I've and here's the funniest thing. Whenever I email David, and I don't email him very often, only when I really need to know something, and it might be 2 a.m, I'll email him. Within 30 seconds, boom, I get my answer. And it's always, yeah, I can, I'll help you with that. I'm heading to Australia. I'm in Thailand. I'm in South Africa. Blah, 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 what? Oh my God. So
Yeah, they just got a new contract with the Australian Federal Police for genetic genealogy and DNA work. They
that's
just signed
great.
that contract. So
It's wonderful. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there was a press release out a few months ago. Paul Holes, that incredible detective that solved the Golden State Killer, he is now working with Othram. And I thought, what a great addition to the team.
after seeing David and Paul talk at Web Sleuths, it feels like a natural fit for those two. They work so well together. So
They really do. And I can't say when this is going to happen, but it will happen at some point. We're going to have Paul Holes on websleuths.com. And y'all know Reddit. And they have this thing called Ask Me Anything. And they get a lot of famous people there. And people type in questions, and then the guy or the woman answers them. And it's just all on a message board. We're going to do something similar to that with Paul, hopefully with Paul Holes soon. If by chance someone says, hey, Paul, are you going on Web Sleuths? And he's going to say, who, what, huh? I don't know if he's been approached yet, but that's the idea. We're going to have something like Ask Me Anything on Web Sleuths. I think we're going to call it Talk to Me because, I don't know, we just came up with that name and I'd had a glass of wine and it sounded good. So we'll look forward to that. And then what we'll do on websleuths.com is we will continue to get high profile true crime people to come on and talk. So we got some great things planned. I missed that thing that you put up. What did you say?
Me?
someone said you're coming to Australia. I don't think so.
I am. You know what? Here's the scary thing. Maybe I have made plans and just forgot. Like I just forgot about making that website, supportramseytruth.com. I hope so. I've been there once. Oh my God, it was so wonderful. People were the best. I would love to live in Australia. We had such a good time. My son was 10 and I took him there for like 3 weeks and we just had a blast. But yeah, I could have made plans and forgot. So I might be sure. You never know. Well, thank you for that, Ping. I'm going to share a place on Web Sleuths now. And this is the top 10 most looked at cases. Whoops, wrong. Here it is. Hold on. Share, come on. There we go. Annual top 10 cases of the year. And this is David. With 2024 coming to an end, the Othram team continues the tradition of sharing the top viewed DNA Solves cases of the year. This year's cases feature cold and contemporary cases, cases involving young kids and adults, and cases from all decades. Every case can yield answers regardless of circumstance, location, time period, or historical origins. It is time to scale this tech for all. Now, the number one case is from 1995. It's the Morgan Nick case. And I don't know if you all remember this, but I'm going to play a video here that I just found earlier. Well, hold on, hang on. And here we go. This is just a sad case that, thank goodness, Othram was able to do something with. So hang on here. Let me grab this and do this.
You're talking about the Morgan Nick case, the
Morgan
number one?
Yeah.
Number one most viewed. Yeah. That means
very sad.
Very, very sad. So here we go. Oh, no, wait a minute. Why is it plopping forward? Hang on. Oh, no, stop doing that. I'm not ready yet. Okay, there we go.
The company that analyzed the single strand of hair that police believe is likely Morgan's in the suspect's former truck is called Othram. I talked with them today about their work that brought such a monumental update to this case.
Othram, a Texas-based company, specializes in analyzing DNA evidence that is degraded or complex. Colby Lazion, the chief of staff at Othram, says the company works with American and Canadian law enforcement agencies to help create a DNA profile of victims, suspects, and remains that need to be identified.
This technology is perfectly suited for cold cases and contemporary cases.
He says their forensic DNA testing has been used in thousands of cases since 2018 and has helped solve more than 350 that they can publicly share.
Essentially, we exist to remove uncertainty in investigations.
After they received the bag of what the FBI vacuumed from Billy Jack Lynx's truck, Othram analysts found a single strand of hair and matched it to the Nick family DNA by also collecting a DNA sample from Morgan's mom, Colleen. That hair didn't have a root, and it was nearly 30 years old.
We've developed technology that allow us to work with even the most difficult evidence. So in this particular case, we were able to extract a sufficient amount of DNA and then subject that DNA into to DNA sequencing and subsequently build a DNA profile.
Testing and profile building typically takes a few weeks, but can sometimes take months, and it typically costs less than $10,000 for the entire process. He says the technology for advanced DNA testing is newer, which is why you're seeing law enforcement agencies turn to it in recent years. He hopes it becomes more commonplace for investigations when other methods don't produce surefire results.
The next step is doing this en masse, at scale, if you will, resolving not tens or hundreds of cases, but thousands and tens of thousands of cases.
Yeah, very sad. But that is the number one most viewed case on. Wait, did I share that?
Yeah. I watched it.
Okay, let me make sure. Okay, now the second one, we're not going to go through all of them, and I'm going to link so you can all look at them. Is this case? It's just breaks my heart. Let me share the screen here. Okay, this is Angel Baby Doe.
Oh.
I know. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know this one.
Is this the one where they got the mother? They arrested the mom over it, and the father didn't even know that she had the baby.
Oh God, I don't know.
I think we did it on the channel when it happened, but I can't remember. There's a couple of babies that were found this year. So
right. Yeah, this could be it. Now, this is in November of 2001. The remains of an unidentified newborn were discovered in Johnson County, Texas, between the towns of Alvarado and Burleson. Johnson County is located south of Fort Worth. A local resident was picking up cans on the side of the Briar Oaks Road when he found a lifeless infant wrapped in a jacket with her umbilical cord still attached. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office was dispatched to the scene, and it was determined that the newborn child was a female. The child was born alive, likely outside of a medical facility, and had only recently died. Without any clues to the infant's identity, she became known as Angel Baby Doe. Due to the circumstances surrounding Angel Baby Doe's death, investigators deemed the child's death the result of foul play. Now, the sheriff's office worked tirelessly to try and find the identity of Angel Baby Doe, but in June of 2021, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office submitted forensic evidence to Othram in the Woodlands in Texas here in hopes that advanced DNA testing could help to identify the child. Othram scientists successfully developed a DNA profile for the infant and then used forensic-grade genome sequencing to build a comprehensive DNA profile for the child. Othram's in-house forensic genetic genealogy, Othram's in-house, where did it go? Forensic genetic genealogy team then used this profile to conduct extensive genetic genealogy research, ultimately providing new investigative leads to law enforcement. Using this information, a follow-up investigation was conducted, leading investigators to potential relatives of the infant. The investigation led to the positive identification of the infant's mother, Shelby Stotts, who has been indicted on multiple charges in connection of the death of baby Angel Doe. Let's see. According to the indictment in November 2001, Stotts recklessly caused the death of her newborn daughter by leaving the baby unattended on the side of the road, failing to seek prompt medical care after giving birth, and failing to clamp the baby's umbilical cord. Anyway, Othram costs for laboratory and investigation efforts in this case were covered by DNA Solves crowdfund. We are grateful to everyone that helped crowdfund this case. And this leads me to, are you ready? We can talk about this right now. Every night we talk about it. And that is DNA Solves becoming a subscriber to DNAsolves.com. You see how they can change lives. You see how they can do it. And so what we are asking our people to do is to become a monthly subscriber to DNAsolves.com. I've put the link at the top of chat. I'm putting it right here at the bottom. And, 5, 10, 12, whatever you can do a month could mean the difference with everything. So as we start out 2025, and we're telling you all these amazing things that Othram is doing, they really need your help with crowdfunding in general. So if you become a subscriber to DNA Solves, then they can take that money and put it to where it's needed most at the time. But I want to put a link up now to the post that Othram made on websleuths.com about the top 10 viewed cases. It's right here, so you can take a look, and I will put that in the description as well. But I just want to read them really quickly. Okay, like Angel Baby Doe, Esther Ann Granger from 1978, Michael Joseph Fanning, 2014, Riverside Baby Doe, 1987, Dwayne Searles, 1982, Verratti Joni Gates, 1977, Rachel Moran Case, 2023, Linda Sue Childers, 1974, and Patrick Andrew Knopper, 1977.
I gotta say something real quick about that.
Yes, please
First
do.
of all, that just tears me up. That's amazing. And we talk about donating money to them. I used to go to Starbucks every day and spend $5 for a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that $5 could do for Othram?
Well, absolutely. And you know what? That's it. $5 could really, 100 people donating $5 a month, that could really make a difference.
$5 a month, $5 a day instead of your coffee. You have an Othram savings.
Exactly.
I mean, we can really make a difference here.
You can truly make a difference. So I hope everybody will check out this this thread on Web Sleuths. You don't need to belong to Web Sleuths to read, just only if you want to post. But let me put this link in chat again, and I will put it in the description as well. So I can't say enough good about Othram and the people there that I have met and I've come to know. There are just some people that are put on this planet that they wake up every day and they say, what can I do good in the world today to make a difference? And that's the people at Othram. Really, They've partnered with Web Sleuths, which has just changed our lives so much for the better. So anyway,
I think the difference is, even though, like, I've heard some criticism about them, they're like, oh, they're just in it for the money. I was like, do you understand how much that lab costs to build in
oh my God,
Houston?
Right.
Like, it's millions and millions, and then they've got all their employees. They're not in it for the money. They're in it to help people.
exactly.
Obviously, it's a business too. That's we all have to eat and
Hmm.
mortgages and stuff. But they're doing it. I've heard David and his wife speak several times, and each time they're not talking about like the cost or whatever. They just want to get these cases out, like not 35 years, 50 years. They just feel like that's a crime in itself, that these families don't have their loved ones back, and that's their whole aim, is to give these people their names, get justice, and move these cases forward and get them out of the closet in
Absolutely.
the police department. So
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
think of how much just traditional, okay, think of medical equipment in general. How expensive is that? Massive amount of money for medical equipment. Then on top of that, there's specialty medical equipment. Every time you use it, it costs money. Then
Hmm.
the people trained to use them,
You've got to get the
you
best.
know,
You
and
got to
then
get the best scientists.
everything. I mean, you're talking a mass amount of money. MRIs now are something considered simple. And, so think of what they're doing.
Hmm.
Just an MRI is like 3,000 something dollars, depending. Come
Exactly.
on. That's when you look at what it costs for the test, compared to that, that's nothing.
Exactly. And again, you've got to pay. They have the top people in the world,
Mhm.
and to get them, you have to pay them. And I have no idea what their salaries are, but I can guarantee you, it's probably not enough.
Well,
Because
they're
they
talent
scientists.
costs money.
Yeah.
So
exactly,
And
exactly.
even
And
Christian, what is Christian? Say it, Ping. I can't say it.
molecular.
Yes, thank you, biologist.
who's Kristen, and why is he a molecular biologist?
Kristen Middleman.
Oh, Chris.
She's
Oh,
a
Kristen. Yes,
scientist.
she's a scientist.
Full
Absolutely.
scientist. And
Yes.
not just her husband, they both are.
No.
They
And
both are.
David will say that Kristen is the star here. She's like brilliant, and she is. Well, they're both brilliant. No, they're both scientists, and have degrees. And Kristen works nonstop.
Mhm.
I don't know how she does. I don't know how they do it.
I don't either
You
know
know,
how she does it, especially in raising family.
and let me tell you, because we are able to partner with Othram and DNA Solves, that's why you don't see ads, and you don't see me doing that obnoxious nails on a chalkboard type begging for money. And God, every month I was a nervous wreck. I wasn't going to have enough money to pay the bills, and I just hated it. So anyway, I can't say enough good about Othram. So be sure and check that link out. And I'm sure we're going to talk about, we'll probably get back to some more Othram cases here as well. But that top 10 most viewed list is really interesting. So
Mhm.
I
I
hope,
want to link to that.
let me put the link up again real quick.
Yeah.
And I will put it in the description as well. So here we go. Here we go.
What I love is usually one of us knows what the other person is trying to say.
Yes. Thank goodness. Thank goodness we all have our brains synced up like that. Well, guess what? It is now 2025 on the East Coast. Yay. Woohoo. It's been 2025 for about 15 minutes on the East Coast. So, and you're going to hear what sound like bombs going off, because they've already been, in fact, I thought one of them landed in my yard. It was so loud. And I think they're saving the loudest here in about 45 minutes Central Time. So if you hear big explosions, don't worry. We're safe. It's just drunk Texans having some fun, people.
Oh my God, they started doing them here hours ago. It's awful.
No, I know. They just go crazy. Okay, Ping, I love your channel. Your channel is fantastic. What do you think 2024, like what cases stuck out in your mind?
Oh, we did a bit of a 2024 in review the other day, and because we don't really pick a topic on my channel each time, just do one topic. So we often do like whatever, as many cases as I can find in one day. That's sort of what we did, and we estimated We did over 2,000 cases in 2024. But the ones that really stuck out to me this year was, I think, Elijah Vu. I think that one really impacted me, especially when they finally found his body late in the year and then charged Katrina and her boyfriend over his abuse and abuse causing death. I really think that that one stuck with me all year, and it was such a hard case to listen to. And hopefully we'll see justice for that in 2025. So
tell us a little bit about the case. I'm going to put Elijah's picture up here. And we do
he's
have a
such a
discussion.
cute little boy.
Oh, look at that cutie pie. And we have a discussion going on websleuths.com, which I'll also include. But look at that. So what happened? What were the circumstances?
So he was sent from his mother, Katrina, to go stay at her boyfriend's house, Jesse Vang. And it was like I don't know the way you would describe it if you're not an abusive a-hole, but it was basically like boot camp for a 3-year-old. And they made him do all these weird rituals and repeat sayings about how he's a good boy, and he would pray at the bed. And these two in text messages were making fun of it. Even Katrina was saying things like, "Oh, he's so tuck it out." Yeah, because you've been abusing him for 3 days and not letting him sleep.
Because he's a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so awful.
Jesse Vang was saying to her, "Oh, I want him to respect me." And it's like, it's a 3-year-old. He knows how to like poop. He knows how to eat, and he might be able to see mum and dad and walk down the shops with you. He doesn't understand the adult concept of respect or anything like that.
No.
These two are just so warped in their head. And then he reported the child missing from his property, that Elijah somehow left the property on his own regard. And that's just not true. A 3-year-old shouldn't be able to get out of a house by itself anyway. And they found him actually not too far away from the original search area. It kicked off I think it was like 2.5 month search around that area. But when they finally found him on that, it was a person's private property. He was clearing it for the season, and he came across the remains of Elijah Vu. And it wasn't too far away, actually. So, yeah, very, very sad. Those two are in jail right now. They had their charges upgraded in October, and they'll go to trial hopefully maybe 25, 26. So we'll see.
It's just absolutely, absolutely horrible. Yeah. And to try and make a 3-year-old show respect.
Be a man.
I can't even, I don't even, I feel like a lesser person for saying this, but it's like, I don't care if these two people get hurt in prison. How disgusting. What a horrible thing to do.
One of the aggravating factors of this is Katrina was saying in court, "Oh, you should let me out. You should let me out. Like I'm such a good lady. You should put me on bail." And the judge basically came back and said, "Tell us where your son is and help with the investigation. Then we can have a chat about bail." But she wasn't going to do anything like that. So.
No, she was just absolutely nuts. And again, people like that, they've shown us who they are. They should not get any, they should never be released from prison. I wish there was a way, but we can't. I understand we can't. I wish there was a way that I could be the one to decide whether their tubes are tied or not. Because there are just women out there that absolutely should never have children. And I think I should be the one to decide that. But hey, that's just me, people. I promise you, I'd be very careful. But, people like her, she can still get pregnant. She can get pregnant in prison. And yeah, she has other kids, right, Rachel? And that's what's so damn scary.
Yeah.
That is what is so scary.
She left with that other child in the car to sneak into Jesse Vang's house while Elijah was there. And I think he'd been hurt or something. And she snuck through the house to have sex with Jesse Vang and left her other child, who is on the spectrum, in the car in the middle of winter.
Good.
Wow.
Oh God, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And again, she's not alone in this behavior. We've had horrible cases. I was talking about it this week. I said I go and I love crimeonline.com, Nancy Grace's site, because their team scours the world for true crime stories. And it just seemed like everyone, father, cuts child head off, mother starves child, you know, blah, on and on and on. And it's like, oh my God, I can't do it anymore. I just can't, you know. I want to talk about the platypus and how they breastfeed rather than do this. You know, I can't take it anymore. By the way, speaking of platypuses, you know how they breastfeed?
How?
Anyone? They secrete breast milk all over their body, and then their babies lick it off. It's the I know the platypus is the weirdest damn animal. And whenever I get too much of true crime, I think I've got to go read about platypuses because I can't take it anymore.
I
Do you
go
know
to
they're
Harry
poisonous
Potter.
though?
Oh, they're poisonous. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're the weirdest damn thing. In fact, they they look like a. In fact, could one of you put up a picture of a platypus while I tell you the story?
You do it, Ping. I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I'll do it. Hold on.
Please.
I think it was in the 1800s. Some guy came back, I want to say to England, came back to some country where he was talking to the king, trying to tell him about the platypus. There it is. And they didn't believe him. They thought he was making it up. And they executed him because they thought he was making it up.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
What
because
the
it was
heck?
it was so bizarre. I mean, look, they have a duck bill.
Yeah.
All right. Do they lay eggs? I can't remember.
No, they're a mammal, all right?
Yeah,
They're mammals.
if they
They're a mammal.
breastfeed, that means it's live birth.
Yeah, okay, they're a mammal, but they also do weird things that don't make any sense whatsoever. And so, guys, this is my tip to you. I've been saving this all year, so this is very special.
Uh-oh.
When it gets to be too much, go on the internet and look up the platypus. It is the weirdest damn thing ever. No, it does lay eggs. That's what I thought.
I'm so confused now.
I would have thought it had live, like little baby ones.
It should.
Okay.
It should because it's a mammal. But it's
Right, yeah, mammals do
right.
milk. And yeah.
That and see
So
that's
they are weird, Trish. You're right.
They are weird. In fact, when one of the platypuses was caught, back in the 1800s, they thought the man that caught it had sewed a bill on it, a duck bill, and had put it together, So anyway, yeah, it's just very, very strange. It's an egg-laying, duck-billed, beaver-tailed, otter-footed mammal, and it baffled European naturalists. In 1799, the first scientist to examine a preserved platypus body judged it a fake, and it was made of several animals sewn together. That's what they said, I don't know what it is. To me, this just proves that aliens have something to do with our existence. And somebody gave this project to their kid to give them something to do. And they came up with the platypus. And like, well, damn, now we have to put it on Earth. I guess we'll have to do it. It is just the weirdest thing. And again, this is really, I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but there are times where I literally just cry because I can't take it anymore, and I can't. And so I just start delving into the life of a platypus. So anyway, how about we take a little break and I play 10 facts about a platypus? Would anybody mind?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
I do. I just, because you guys, true crime can just be too much sometimes that we need to take a break. So, okay, you hear all that booming and stuff. Some of that is gunfire, people just shooting in their yard and stuff. But, it's Texas. Yeehaw. What can I say? Here is 10 facts about the platypus. So next time when true crime gets to be too much, you can go to this guy. And this comes from Learn About Animals. Isn't that
Let's
cute?
talk about one of the weirdest, strangest, and most fascinating creatures on planet Earth. I suspect you don't know much about the creature we will feature in this video. In fact, this creature is so strange, many believed it wasn't even real. A hoax, little did they know. Let's talk about the platypus. What do you know about platypuses?
I know a lot.
Well, you're like most people. You know little to nothing about platypuses.
Not me.
That's okay. We're here to change that. Let's start at the beginning. What is a platypus, and why is it such a fun word to say? Go ahead, try it. A platypus has the bill of a duck, has a tail like a beaver, webbed feet, lays eggs, and has fur like an otter. Phew, that's a lot to digest. Sounds like a duck, a beaver, a reptile, and an otter had some violent collision and a platypus came out. Yes, a platypus is a bit strange. Who are we kidding? A platypus is really strange. Here are the 10 things you didn't know about a platypus. If you did know, just be cool and play along. Number 10. They have a bill like a duck. Let's start with that duck-like bill. It actually comes in handy. Platypuses do most of their hunting underwater. While they're under, they close their eyes and ears. Yes, they can actually close their ears. The bill senses other animals or prey. Speaking of the bill, it's kind of like soft leather and has receptors that pick up electrical signals by animals when they move. Then they use their bill to bring their prey above the surface. This helps them find worms and sometimes shrimp to feast on. They also have spacious cheeks and wait until they come above the surface to eat. They were born with teeth but lose them a short time later. Can you imagine a baby born with a full set of teeth and then they go away? For platypuses, though, no teeth, no problem. They have little grinders in their mouth that crush and grind their food. Sounds delicious. Number 9, the platypus and the stomach. We mentioned how strange platypuses are. What if I told you that they don't have a stomach? Can I tell you something? Platypuses don't have a stomach. I know. Your mind is blown, right? Most animals, and humans for that matter, need a stomach. Do you know why? Bonus points if you know what a stomach does. The stomach breaks down food so we, and animals that have a stomach, can digest it. The reason a platypus doesn't have a stomach is because a platypus doesn't need a stomach. The food they eat is very easy to break down. The problem with that is there is no place to store the food, so they eat all day long. What a life. Fact is, they need to eat almost 30% of their body weight every day just to survive.
I do that.
They eat at least 12 hours a day.
I do that.
That is crazy. Number 8. They have a fat tail. All giggles and tail shaming aside, it's actually a sign that a platypus is healthy. If you want to give a platypus a health check, simply squeeze its tail. Although I wouldn't do that for your own health. I'll get to that a little bit later. Remember.
Okay, guys, this is actually I don't want to get in trouble with the creator because, like Ping said, this was a something put together by a creator, like a personal video thing. So let me put the link in chat because I know you'll want to hear the other 8 fun facts about platypuses, and there is going to be a test.
Trish, name their channel. Like,
Yeah,
read
oh,
it
yeah.
out.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. I said it there at the beginning. It is Learn About Animals. Okay. And I'm going to put the link in chat. And they have great videos on animals. And I would highly recommend that you subscribe to them.
I already found 2 things you have in common with the platypus.
What's that?
Okay. You just said the one. You said you eat all day.
Yes.
The second one, you do a lot of stupid stuff for no reason.
Absolutely. And I'm
Remember the
proud of
beginning?
it.
That one, I do that too. I'm a wow.
I am proud of the stupid stuff I do for no reason. And look at what Bob says. We want 20, not just 10, but 20.
Aw, we love Bob.
You're absolutely right. Oh my gosh. This is what I love about the chat. Now everybody's coming on with their facts about platypuses, and we are going to talk more true crime here in just a moment. They live under the banks of rivers and creeks in the eastern states, mainly Victoria. They've been threatened by rampant land clearing, pollution, logging, and they're still endangered, just like koalas. This comes from Sandra Halford. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much.
Spunky's grounded for the rest of the show.
Oh no, what do you do now?
He said they taste like chicken.
Oh, you little
So
stinker.
I told him no.
No, McSpunky, no. Okay, I have one more little thing that I want to tell you that has nothing to do with anything, and then we're going to get back to true crime here. I was thinking, I get insulted all the time. I get threats, and I don't pay any attention. But the other night in chat, this guy was, I don't know why I think it's a guy. I just do. Was getting mad. And I think it had to do with the JonBenét Ramsey case. Was saying stuff. And finally, he posted, what was it? Your badge, what was it? Is the entrance. Your badge is the entrance to Alcatraz.
When?
And I looked at that and I went, that is the weirdest damn thing. And that is absolutely hilarious. I want to get, a badge that says that. My badge is I don't even know what that means. I guess it's supposed to be an insult. So I'm gonna give him the trophy for the best insult to me for the year 2024. So
Yeah, because but I think he's wrong because your husband hasn't been to prison, so
he hasn't. No,
think about it.
That good point. Very good point. It's still, like Lisa Foster said, still the best insult ever. Yeah, I've been telling everybody about it because everybody reads it and they go, "What the hell does that mean?" So
very creative. We love creative people
yes,
here.
We do. We do. And I'm going to read one more thing about a platypus, and then Ping, I have a question for you. Aussie Cherry Manda. Our platypus is beautiful, and I think our Australian
Indigenous
people are allowed to catch them in the wild, kill and eat them, even though they are endangered and a protected species. And if they do, I can't imagine that they could wipe them out. I don't think there would be that many doing it, but so Trisha's woo-woo is a trap.
Your woo-woo, your hoo-ha.
My hoo-ha.
Your hoo-ha is a trap.
My fluff is a trap.
Well, it must be broken.
There's a horror movie. There's a horror movie out there. It's about a woman who has teeth down there.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. And that reminds me, one more story, and then I'll get to you. And I've told this before, but we're reviewing. I was going through security, and they always pull me over. I must have that housewife.
Over?
Well, you take me out of the line, and frisk me and everything. I must look like, they pull me over in a little airport car. And they always do the frisk and everything. And it was this woman, it was in Salt Lake City, and she cups her hand like this and goes right in my hoo-ha. And she goes, "What's going on down there?" And my girlfriend, when I was telling her this story, she said, "You should have said, what? Haven't you ever felt teeth before?" And I so want to go back and say that. But it's like, what do you mean what's going on down? It was the weirdest damn thing ever.
Oh, you could have said, "Oh, don't worry, it's just a tail."
Yeah, it's just my other head. Sorry. I Hate Chocolate says, "I can't believe my ears." What? There's nothing weird.
Yeah, I believe that.
Nothing weird going on here. Okay, let's get back to true crime. So here's the deal. This was a huge year with two trials that just pop in my head. Chad Daybell and Richard Allen. Ping, in Australia, was the Daybell case as big over there as it was here? Was there interest in it?
Jesus.
I think originally when it first happened and the kids had been missing and then they found the children at Chad's property, I think then it had a real media run in Australia. But during the trials for Laurie and Chad, there were some updates, but it wasn't nearly as prolific as when the kids were missing.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big. No.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And that again, Chad Daybell's case was so huge. It was massive over here. And the Richard Allen case makes me so angry. Just that monster killed Abby and Libby, and then the judge in that case was so unbelievably ridiculous when it came to keeping media out and people out, and it became impossible to report on. And I really hope that Judge Gull retires, because we need to get dinosaurs like her out of there. These are public courtroom cases. They should all be televised, but she made it impossible. And it would have been great if the victims' impact statements would have been televised. That could have been probably very helpful to them. But she was just awful. She was just awful. So we have guilty verdicts in both those cases. They will both, Chad's is automatically being appealed, Chad Daybell, because he got the death penalty. But then we have another case coming up, the final case against Lori Vallow for murder of her husband, Charles Vallow. That will take place in Phoenix. There will be cameras in the courtroom, and our good friend Lauren Matthias will be down there reporting as well. But now here's the crazy thing, if you haven't heard this. Lori Vallow, Daybell, Cox, whatever the hell her name is representing herself.
Yeah.
Do you know what a cluster that's going to be? That means that Kay and Larry Woodcock, when they take the stand, because Charles was Kay's sister, Lori is going to be able to cross-examine them. And to me, that is an absolute horrible thing to allow. Yeah, I'm sorry. Bob asked me what? Ask me what? Bob keeps saying, ask Trisha.
It feels like to me that all it is prolonging the suffering of their family by constantly drawing it out. Like I know the husband, he was a good guy. Everything I read about him said he was a stand-up fellow, and he deserves his day for justice in court. But some of these tactics just feels like it's just to deliberately stick that knife into the family just a little bit deeper, keep them hanging around, keep the wound open, and not allow them to move on.
Exactly.
I agree with that, and the freedoms she'll get, and I also partially think she thinks she can talk her way out of it. But my first thought, Ping, was like you. I'm thinking her thinking of her questioning Kay. She is going to love that.
Oh, she's gonna just
Lori, not Kay.
Yeah, she's gonna be in her element.
Sick thrills right there.
She's so mad at Kay because remember, Charles made it very solid that Kay got the insurance money, because Charles said she's going to kill me, and he knew that Lori wanted that insurance money, and Lori thought she was going to get it. And I am so glad that they were able to tape that phone call where she called the insurance company and found out, nope, you are not the one that gets the money, Lori.
Oh my God. Out of everything out of the Lori Vallow saga, that phone call, I could just listen to it every night and I'd just go to sleep. I'd be so happy. It's just the greatest. Like, you can take a tiny bit of happiness out of the, very sad, very awful saga the entire thing was. But that phone call, it's perfect. Well done.
You feel like justice is being served. In fact, I'm going to find it here really quickly. And if you guys,
I love that girl at the end. She's like, I have to speak to my manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Miss Spunky, but oh my goodness gracious! Sorry, people.
What was that?
Fireworks. Mick Spunky says, "Can Trisha do a dramatic reading of A Loin Fire?" I don't think she'd be able to pronounce half the words. So
that would make it even better. I would
we could do it together. We could take turns.
We could. You know what? Let's do that. That would be fun.
Do that.
You know what? Let's do it. Make a note. Let's do it.
Yes.
I think that would be fun. And no looking up pre-pronunciation of any of the words.
Oh, that would make it even more fun.
Exactly. Now, there is a woman on the internet, and she's really good. And she reads these books so we don't have to. And I wish I could remember her name because I'd link to her. And she's great at it. But I would love to do that. Okay, we're going to listen. We're going to, just because it makes us feel good to hear Lori Vallow find out, and how she just must have just been so upset that hi, Othram text Bug Nugget to first. How are you? That she is not getting the $1 million. Oh, she just must have just been absolutely nuts. So hang on here. Let me share this really quickly.
Trish, we could totally upload that as an independent video.
Let's
That'd
do
be
it.
so fun.
Let's just plan on doing it. That sounds great to me. It really does. Okay, this comes from East Idaho News. Here we go.
May I have the policy number? Sure. It is Are you calling in reference to a death claim? Yes. Okay, one moment, please. May I have the name of the insured? L. Charles Vallow. And who am I speaking with? This is Lori Vallow. And your relationship to the insured? He's my husband. Okay, one moment. Okay, ma'am, I'm just going to need to ask you a few questions so that I can open the claim, and then I can go over the claim procedure with you and answer any questions that you may have afterwards. That would be great. Okay, first of all, may I have your daytime phone number, please? Sure, it's 2. And what was the date of Mr. Vallow's passing? July 11th. And what was the cause of his passing? Well, he was shot. Okay. So I don't know how I want to put that. Okay. All right. And I hate to ask, but is it? Yeah, you can just say yes or no. Was it a homicide? No, it was an accident. An accident. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what state did he pass away in? Arizona. Okay. Okay, just bear with me for one moment. I just need to pull up a few other things. Okay. Okay. Are you aware of who the primary beneficiary of the policy is? It's me.
No, it's not.
Okay. And may I have your, I'm sorry, one moment. My computer just went away for a second. Okay. And may I have your current mailing address? Sure. It's 5531 South 4 FOUR Peaks PEAKS Place. Okay. In Chandler, Arizona. And it's 85249. Okay, ma'am. That is all the information I need to open the claim. What we will do now is review the policy in the file to confirm the beneficiary information and determine the claim requirements that we will need to settle this particular claim. Once we have completed our review, we will prepare a claim packet to send to the named beneficiary once that has been confirmed. And the claim packet can either be mailed or emailed or faxed. How would you like to receive the correspondence? Email would be great. Okay, and what is your email address? Okay. All All right, so you should receive an email from our office within the next 3 to 5 business days or sooner. It will have the instructions listed. Once you receive the information, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to give our office a call, and then we can go from there. Okay, is there anything I can help you with at this time? That's it, I think. Okay, ma'am. Well, I'm very sorry for your loss. You take care of yourself. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, now in that clip, they didn't tell her she wasn't the.
I want to hear that one. What the heck is it go?
Yeah, isn't there one where she says where the insurance lady goes, "I'm sorry, I can't tell you who it is." Do you know, Ping?
I think he's doing some magic.
Okay.
I'm not doing some magic. It's just turning on the aircon. It got hot down here.
Oh.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well, in this particular call, the insurance lady didn't say you are not the beneficiary, and I thought there was a call out there where they did tell her it's not you, but they couldn't tell her who it was.
Possibly. I do remember something like that. I think that's her little hint, though, because if they already knew that she was a policy beneficiary, they wouldn't ask her. And I think they knew from opening the file on the computer and looking at it. That's why they were sort of double checking with her, because I'm not sure if they are allowed to tell her, but they just sort of were like, do you know who the beneficiary? And then when she said her, I'm sure they got off that phone call and they're like, did you listen to this woman? Play that recording again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird. Yeah, what they can say, because we've been through it, they can, if you are the beneficiary, they can say, yes, you are. But if you're not, they can't say who it is.
Right. Okay, let me just listen to this part really quick here, guys.
Happy New Year, everyone. It's good to see you, Allie. I'm sorry I haven't messaged with you lately, but I've been broken, so I'm trying to get there. My God, the fireworks outside are so loud.
You know, when we're talking about trials before, while Trish finds this and listens, the trials in America were so different to the ones here. If you had to ask me what the three biggest were here, I think it may have been the Gregory Lynn trial was a really big one down here. Ended up with a split verdict, which is pretty uncommon. Ended up with one charge of murder succeeding, one charge being overturned. So they split that verdict. I think that's very interesting. The appeal next year will. I hope he doesn't get off, but we'll see. No, but that's not even gone to trial yet. We're going. So we're in deep planning right now to head out to friggin' Morwell.
You're gonna go?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
so
great.
We're going to trial for Erin Patterson in April 27th.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Oh, the mushroom.
It's 2 hours from me. Originally, she was going to have trial in Melbourne City. Melbourne City is only like a half an hour train ride for me, and I could go in every day. This new location's out where she committed the crimes near Leongatha. It's actually in Morwell, which is where the courthouse is. But Leongatha is about half an hour south of there. So don't know why she wanted to have it there, but we're going out to the country, not country Victoria. It's sort of rural. It's like a little tiny city outside of Melbourne. So we're heading there in April to go to trial. It will be interesting.
Ping in the
field. And Ping, for people that may not remember, can you give us the background on this case, please?
Yeah, so it was last year, I think it was in July. There was a news report that popped up in a local paper down here, and because I'm always searching for news stories, and I read it, and it said 3 people had been hospitalized. At that point, I think 2 of them had died, and they said all it said was mushroom poisoning, and I was like, oh, that's very weird. So we reported on it, and then more information came out that the 3 had died, 1 survived. And we found out that it was this woman, Erin Patterson, and she had baked a beef Wellington and had poisonous mushrooms, death cap mushrooms inside. And it's been a saga since then. She tried to blame our local supermarkets down here. One is called Woolworths and one is called Coles. Woolworths is the one she tried to blame and said she bought the mushrooms from her local store, but they hit back so fast. They were like, no way, our supply chain is like, pristine. There's no way they'd make it into our supply chain. And then she tried to blame an Asian grocery store in Melbourne, and that the city was up in arms because they're like, not only did you blame two businesses and try to destroy them with false claims of poisoned food, you then it's almost racial vilification by saying it was an Asian grocery store. And yeah, so she did that, and then eventually police were able to charge her over that. So what is it, three murder charges and 5 attempted murder charges. So she goes to trial next now 2025, this April 27th. So it should be a 2-week trial.
Oh my God, that's going to be great. But what was the motive? If I remember correctly, wasn't it she didn't mean to kill them and she wanted to save them and nurse them back to health, or am I up in the night?
No, I don't right now. So for people who don't know the difference between Australia and the US, in the United States, when someone is killed, we often get the information within about a day. They'll be like, oh yeah, they shot and killed them. It was a 22. Yeah, it was a homicide or whatever. But in Australia, a lot of the information doesn't come out until we actually go to the trial and it's said in court. So we don't know what the police have as a brief of evidence right now. It's all been sealed until trial. But it is a possibility because 3 of those attempted murder charges are for her ex-husband, who they believe she poisoned the year before to the point that he was in a coma in hospital. When he came out of hospital, she nursed him back to health, in quotations. And they think maybe she was trying to do something similar with the in-laws so that they would accept her and be like, what a great lady, even though she's not with our son anymore, she cared for us and brought us back to health. It's just a theory, and until we get the trial paperwork, it is one of the ones that makes more sense. So we'll see.
And there's also the fact that she said his family didn't like her or whatever anymore. So yeah.
Right.
Well,
Now,
they had divorced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooter asks, did she make 2 beef Wellingtons, one without mushrooms for her?
That's a theory that I've been talking about on my channel a lot. That's the only way I can see it working, because she says she ate it on the time with the family, and then the following day she ate more of it, plus gave her children some.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, they didn't get sick because I scraped off the mushrooms. But we heard from a scientist that works in mushrooms. I can't remember what they're called, like a myologist or whatever. They said once those mushrooms are within the dish, the poison spreads throughout the dish. So it's not like you could just scrape off the mushrooms and not get poisoned. It would be in every part of the dish. So the only logical thing makes sense is that there was 2, that she gave one to the family and that her and her children ate the second one, because she presented to hospital after they went to hospital, and they basically sent her home and said her symptoms were not severe. They said she had very, very minor symptoms and didn't need hospitalization. So
I can't understand what she thought would happen when these people ate her cooking and died. Did she think nobody would notice? I mean, I don't get it.
I think it's possible maybe she put too much. If the theory about her wanting to amend them to health, maybe she used way too many. I don't know. But that myologist, if that's the correct word, I'm sorry if it's not, they also said to be able to poison this many people, you would need like a basket full. Like it's not like you could just put accidentally 2 mushrooms in the dish and kill 3 people. You need like 10 per person.
Right.
So there's something funny there that we don't quite know. That I'm sure the police know now after testing, but we don't have that information yet. So
Rachel says, "Ping, play her clip. Do you have her clip handy? I think it'd be really interesting."
Yeah, I can. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it.
Okay, very good. And we're getting close to midnight here in about 6 minutes in the Central Time Zone. Yay! And Lisa from Australia so graciously offered to come on because I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it insightful one. And at the time, I wasn't sure if Ping was going to be able to. And so she graciously said, I can come on and help. So before we leave tonight, I would like to bring Lisa up here just to say thank you for everything. Okay, here we go. Here
Real
is
quick, how long are we staying on?
not too much longer. After
Forever.
yeah, till 6 a.m.
Ping and I could actually stay up all night, talk cases forever. We could.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Anyway, I'll check my email, Lisa. Thank you. And so, okay, what is her name again, Ping?
So this is Erin Patterson. This is one of the few interviews she did after her relatives died in hospital. This is what, for me, watching this case, this is what told me she was guilty. I was saying it like as soon as I saw this video, I already had my suspicions, but this video set it in motion. And if you haven't seen it on my channel, give this a watch and tell me what you think in the comments about why this is so suspicious. All right, here we go.
It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather and Gail. They were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
So I'll stop it just here. It's this face touching. It's this constant face touching of her eyes and trying to wipe away and look at her hand, these fake tears. There's no water on her face. She's not crying. And she's over exaggerating this emotional response of trying to seem upset. She's trying to give the media what they want. And it's not working. It comes across as a actor or someone like in a very bad community level play. So let's play the rest of it.
Okay.
Can you tell us the loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother?
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry.
You know, I've listened to enough like behavioral things to know that when someone stares up like this too, when you see her like this in this, like she's not looking at the reporters, there's no eye contact, she's looking right above. This is someone telling a lie. This is not someone telling the truth. When people are telling the truth, they'll look at you because they know what they're saying is, you know, real. But when you look above, you're trying to avoid eye contact and you're trying to think up lies. And this is another sign for me that she's crackers.
And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you?
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
Okay, I'll leave it there. We're about 20 seconds away from New Year's for Central Time Zone, and there's not much left in this anyway, but there you go. There's a taste of what we should expect at trial in 3 months.
And again, Touche, this is the big question. Why did she want them dead? What would benefit her? What would she get? We don't know. We have theories.
My thought on it is they didn't like her, and she's divorced from her husband and she wanted him back, so she wanted them out of the way. And then when she made him sick before, I had thought maybe she was trying to keep him around by doing that.
That makes sense. Get rid of the parents because they didn't like her, and then she would nurse him back to health, you know. Absolutely. Okay. Almost there, people, according to my clock. So we should be hearing some great big explosions because this is Texas. Remember, this is a state where I accidentally dropped my handgun in the Olive Garden on the tile floor, and it went ding, 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 and bounced all over the place. And I'm panicked, thinking they're going to call the cops, and people stepped over it like it was a pencil. Here we go. Can you hear it? Woohoo! Firecrackers. Where's the big explosions that have been scaring the hell out of me? Happy New Year to the Central Time Zone 2025. Think about it, when you were a little kid and somebody said, you know, New Year's Eve 2025, you're going to be watching this new thing called YouTube. But you couldn't even imagine that far ahead when you were little.
You know, even when I was young, there was no such thing as like streaming anything. You couldn't even watch movies online like that. You had to download them and they were terrible quality. And now you've got everything at your fingertips. Even some on YouTube, you can just go, oh, I want to watch a Christmas film. And you'll probably find it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's such a luxury that we have today compared to what it was in the 90s, where you had to go to Blockbuster and rent it for one night and take it back in the morning.
That was fun, though. I remember doing that with Will and his little friends, and we had so much fun doing that, you know. So, but hey, every generation is different. God, they are going nuts. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's constant. Boom, 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 and fireworks, and haven't heard the great big explosions like I heard earlier.
You
But
know,
anyway.
it was very quiet here last night. I was on last night, midnight Australian time, and like we heard a couple, but they were far, far away. It was so quiet. There was no parties. I heard no subwoofers. It was very strange. It was
Yeah.
dead quiet.
Ugh. Well, everybody seems to be partying here. Yeehaw! So anyway, I am excited for 2025. We're going to do some great things. And I think the biggest thing you heard tonight was that Stacy and we are going to read those Chad Daybell books. We're going to take turns reading, you know, paragraphs. So,
Mitchell. Yeah, me too. My older sister sat me down in front of the TV, and she saw, okay, MTV's starting today, and I'm like, what? And because she was 9 years older than me, so we sat there and watched it when it premiered.
It was the flag, the American flag on the moon. And wasn't...
I wasn't born yet, so...
Oh, shut up, you punk. I don't want to hear it. You're way too young. No, it was the first song, The Police. I can't remember.
There was a documentary this year. There was an MTV documentary, and they tell you all about it.
Was it Video Killed the Radio Star? What was
that it? Oh, yeah. Video Killed the Radio Star. That's right. That's who it was, by the Buggles. And I just remember I was in radio at the time when it happened. Ooh, there's a big one. And it was so cool. It was so different, you know. So just crazy, crazy, crazy. Was it 1980? I think it was 1981. August of 1981. It was a big deal, man, to go watch on television and see videos of your favorite musicians. Wow.
It was, I used to record it, man. And they had Hot Metal Headbangers Ball.
Oh, that's right.
I
Headbangers
loved
Ball.
Headbangers Ball. Yeah.
Ping, I don't think... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the documentary is called I Want My MTV, and it was in 2019. It's really good if you like the history of MTV. I'm a big MTV fan. And Stacey knows that. But yeah, I wasn't around for that one. Actually, the first one I ever saw when I was a kid, I think it might have been Vanilla Ice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was my first interaction with MTV.
I just wanted to state unequivocally that, Ping, I do not think you're a punk just because you're younger than me. I'm just jealous that you're young.
I turned 40 this year. I'm no longer like a young kid. I'm in middle age.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah, Roseanne Cash, 7-Year Itch was one of the, I think it was played that day. You know, I Want My MTV. Hi, the Thoris. Good to see you. I think I saw Beth B here earlier. Good to see you. So many of our wonderful people are here. So anyway, yeah, can you believe it? MTV, that was just revolutionary. I saw Rod Stewart do his MTV, what do they call it, Unplugged?
Yeah.
And he did that. He did one of his songs Unplugged, and it became a huge hit. And I was actually in the studio there. Was when I was a music director at a rock station, and they flew us in. It was some big conference thing. Can you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
That sounded like gunshots, not a firework.
That you say that is gunshots?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah,
It is. I'm sure people are just boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no doubt. That doesn't sound like a firecracker at all. So, yeah.
So in Australia, this person here, Just Another Human, says we had Rage. So Rage was slightly different. It was on the ABC, I think normally on a Friday night, very early in the morning, like 1 a.m. in the morning. And they used to have guests on, so they'd invite like some band on, and they would program the next few hours of music videos. And that was our public music channel every week. Yep.
God, that sounds like fun. Looking back on it now. Yeah, McSpunky says K-Bear 101, and I actually was hired at K-Bear before it was even on the air. We helped build it. And yeah, that was crazy. Crazy. So, yeah, Headbangers Ball. Oh, man. Well, there we go.
I still have some Headbangers Ball on VHS. I used to record it.
Oh, I love to watch that stuff. And you can get most of it now on YouTube. And that's what's so cool. This dang little crown thingy is making my head itch. Okay, that was a firework and it exploded. So, okay, everybody. Bob says, what did you do there? At first, I was like an assistant program director, and then I was on the air for a couple of years, and then I went to Z93. So it was pretty fun. Anyway, okay. Oh, Casey Kasem, Coast to Coast. Did you get Casey Kasem in Australia, Ping?
I don't know, but one show that I grew up with, because I used to, as a kid, I'd have a Walkman that had a radio in it, and that was my, because we didn't have the internet back then, it was sort of my ticket to the outside world.
Right.
We used to have this, Rick Dees and the Weekly Top 40, and we listened to Rick Dees every Sunday, and I still love Rick Dees. I've listened to the old ones on YouTube and that, but that's how we got new music from America, because in Australia, there was often a 9 to 12 month gap between like when a song was released in America and when it made it to Australia. Now it's instant, but back then, same with movies, there was sometimes a 9 to 12 month gap between when you guys had it and when we had it. But yeah, Rick Dees, that was one that we always had.
Oh, Rick Dees.
Wolfman Jack.
Wolfman Jack, all those people. Well, Wolfman Jack isn't still around. Okay, you guys remember American Top 40 with Casey Kasem. Do you all remember that? Do you, Stacey? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I've got to find this clip, and then we're gonna wrap it up here. But hang on just a moment. Casey Kasem.
Just to say, Marilyn Landis, I have that album, Disco Duck, still to this day.
Disco Duck. Yeah.
Did you know that Rick Dees was like one of the very first DJs to be simulcast in like every country in the world or something? Apparently, his radio show when he was at LA, he's moved around a few times, but the one he had in LA in the 90s, that one was simulcast in the UK, Europe, even as far places as Arab nations and stuff like that. He was all over the world at the time. Yeah, so he'd record it, and then they would simulcast it a few hours later around the world. So.
Wow. No idea.
Well, Casey Kasem did American Top 40.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. It was still when AM radio was hot. And every week he'd do these dedications, and he had this very defined personality. Well, and this was long before the internet. Now this stuff just gets out and it's no problem. But there was a tape going around when I first started in radio where Casey Kasem loses his mind. He's recording a dedication, and he just loses it. And it was such a big deal when this came out. Now, trigger warning, this has a lot of swear words in it, okay? But this is Casey Kasem. This is from Hambonian Entertainment. And I'll put the link in chat. But this is just funny. If you've listened to Casey Kasem's, and you can get it now on satellite radio. They play like, you know, the same week from like 1974 on Saturday, and then next week 1970 the next week, and it's really good. I mean, I really enjoy it. But here is Casey Kasem having a complete and utter meltdown, and I guess he did this a lot, which again, very shocking to us, because we never heard anything like this. This never was out there. So here we go, everybody.
The countdown will begin this Sunday afternoon at 1, right here on the radio station you grew up with, Music Radio 138. Oh, fuck. What the hell's going on here? Oh, geez, well, isn't it the last hour? We got another hour to do? Geez, I thought we were almost finished. Good golly, Miss Molly. Boy, this is fucking ponderous, man. Ponderous, fucking ponderous. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. American Top 40 has moved to a new time. I hope you'll join me this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning at 2. Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's go start again. I'm coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions. And then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Make it. And I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Just last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
Okay, guys, I can't tell you how shocking that was.
No kidding. I can't believe he even said a bad word once in his life, but he's freaking right. He is 100% right. How awful is that to do something about somebody dying and then let's go rock it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's so right.
Absolutely right. And again, we had nothing like this. I remember when I got this on a cassette, and somebody gave it to me, and we couldn't get enough of it, because he always sounded just like he does on American Top 40, you know, just friendly and sweet, and he wasn't at all. He was like that. There's a whole bunch of bloopers out there where he goes nuts, but that's the most famous one.
Oh my God.
That's really funny. That's like, hey, someone died. Let's play Danger Zone next.
Exactly.
Exactly. And you know, at least he had that, you know, he realized that and thought that was an insincere thing to do. And you
exactly.
know,
Exactly.
it would have been worse if he didn't care.
Yep. It would have been, but he would go off. You know, people have since come out. He died a long time ago, and people have since come out and just said he was a nightmare to work for. So, okay, on that happy note, everybody, happy 2025. We made it. It's going to be a great year. We've got some great things planned. I'm knocking on wood. Thank you, Othram and DNAsolves.com. I will put links up to both. And I want you to take a look at Othram's top 10 most viewed cases. They are posted on websleuths.com. I'll put links to everything we played tonight. And Ping, thank you so much for coming on and having your people in your chat join us tonight. I really appreciate it. We should do this more often. We love it when you come out here.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the help throughout this year. This was my first full year of doing my own channel after leaving here. Yeah, it's been an experience, but there's no way I could have done it without all the help I get from you guys, my team, the people close to me. I have a bunch of helpers, Reby, DJ, a whole bunch of others, and I feel bad if I left someone's name out. But I couldn't do it without that help. There's no way. It's really hard to do a show on your own.
It is.
And yeah, I couldn't do it without your input as well. So thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and nice to meet some of the new faces, because I've been gone for about 12 months now, 14 months.
Yeah, you
And
just
some of these people I don't know. So
it's
Hey,
great.
King, throw your link in chat.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
when we do it, go ahead and throw it in there now. Well, we have a running one from the Nightbot, but yeah, put your link in there. And of course, oh my gosh, our wonderful moderators. We could not do this without you. Yuta, Moonlight View, Leisha Gallegos, Four Sons Mom. You guys, you do it for free, and I love you for it. Thank you. And Stacy, Insightful One, I cannot thank you enough for all that you do. This channel, we couldn't do this channel. So 2025 couldn't do this channel without you. 2025 is going to be a great year. We have wonderful things planned. We're doing a live stream tomorrow. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but who knows? Maybe we'll go straight into the platypus conversation again. You just never know. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. And Human Animal says, Ping, don't forget to praise your successor. Ping 2. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Ping 2. P2.
yeah, I saw the video you put up on Christmas about the fish.
He's a happy fish.
Hopefully this one survives a bit longer. The other one went to
Well,
fish heaven very quickly.
Well, it was about a year and a half. But this guy has a better house than I do now.
Yeah, that tank's huge compared
Yes.
to the old one.
10-gallon. It's got a heater. It's got filters, and I test the water every day. And like I said, he's healthier than me, and he's just swimming around having a great time. So this is Ping 2, or P2 as we call him. Okay, everybody, please be safe out there. I hope nobody's out driving. Stay in. Don't forget to check out websleuths.com, the very best true crime discussion forum in the universe. And we'll see you tomorrow night, 10:30 Eastern, on Web Sleuths YouTube Live. Hey, Ping and Stacy, hang on. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.